How do you top yourself again? Where do you go from here? What are you going to be thinking about tonight in terms of future projects?
I can't answer any of those. I don't. Future project. I've got another project I'm doing with Steven Spielberg next year called Flags of Our Fathers, and he and I are going to produce that, and we'll see how that comes up. And that's my next project. But you know, how do you top? I don't know. When Al gave me this book 4 years ago, I fell in love with his story, and all the stories, all of the FX Tool stories were great. But I particularly like this one, and then when he gave me the script some years later, last year, I said, yeah, I'll do this. And it was because not only because it's a great role, but it's also a great picture. It had great picture potential, I thought. So there we are. So there.
We're going to 158, and after that, 42.
Hi, Mr. Eastwood. Congratulations, Lisa Bernhardt, Fox News. Over here. Hello.
You're a lot better looking than O'Reilly, I'll tell you.
Well,
okay.
thank you. So much talk this year, Aviator, $1 Million Baby. Did you think possibly that it would go Best Director for you and Best Picture for Aviator? Were you surprised about the Best Picture win?
I didn't think at all. In fact, I kind of was a little bit disappointed when they started building a competition between Marty and myself, because I have the greatest respect for him. He produced a series on the blues. I did a segment of that, and all the work he does for motion picture preservation. I have the greatest respect for him and for the films he's done over the years and right up through Aviator. And so I didn't think anything. I just never take anything for granted. I was just very happy that $1 Million Baby, which is a humble picture financially, budget-wise on today's world, captured the imagination of the public.
Thank you.
42, and then down front, 219.
Clint, I'm over here, Steve Schaefer, Boston Herald. Hi. $1 Million Baby follows Mystic River as an Oscar-laden movie that you've done. Do you have a feeling that this is the best period of your life? You're on a roll with what you know, it's coming to sort of like music, second nature to you, and or I don't know, do you get anxious when you start a movie and worry if it's going to come out as good as the last one?
No, I don't get anxious, but I must say that Mystic River was a great pleasure to make. It was a great story in your town of Boston. It was fun to shoot there. But last year, I came down here and rooted for my guys, Tim and Sean, and we didn't come up with a picture because we got hobbitized, but we were there, and we were there, and I think I like to think that we had the goods if under other circumstances. But when this picture came along, I was just as equally enthusiastic about this project. So there you go. So you know, there's a line that I played in Unforgiven 13 years ago with William Money, and when it says "deserves," got nothing to do with it. So I don't want to say that's necessary. I don't want to say I adhere to that. But you know, it's some way you never know. You just never know. There's a lot of great movies that have won the Academy Award, and a lot of great movies that haven't.
Mr. Eastwood, right down in front, Tanya Hart. Congratulations, wonderful job. I was so fascinated, though, by the women who were sparring partners for Hillary. As a director, what was it that you said to them to get those kind of performances out of these amateurs?
I said, take a fall. No, actually, I got to give Phyllis Huffman, one of the world's greatest casting gals. She interviewed a lot of women, and Buddy Van Horn, who is my right arm when it comes to the action sequences on many pictures, including Mystic River and beyond, back to Unforgiven. He interviewed all these gals and worked with all these gals. Don Framilton is a fight trainer here in town, and the great Lucia Riker, who's the real deal. She's a real champion. She came on, she helped. So all of these people who came around to make Hillary what she is, the powerhouse that she is.
182, and then back to 284.
Congratulations, Clint. David Cohen from Variety over here to your right.
284?
Yeah. Congratulations.
You know, Hollywood has become famous as for being a young person's town. The business is very youth-oriented. You've made a movie which is for grown-ups, and it was made by people old enough to collect Social Security, and you and Morgan have both won tonight. Do you see any message in that at all for the rest of the town?
Yeah, we're taking over. Yeah. The AARP and me, we're coming in there. No, I think there's room for everybody. I love starting new people. I love to see young directors come along. I happen to be a big fan of Alexander Payne, who was nominated here tonight. I thought his film Election was one of the great movies of the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, and I also liked Sideways very much. So there's a lot of young guys coming along, but I'd like to say to the various financiers that don't forget the senior guys, because the senior guys and gals are both there ready to do their best work for you. And Sidney Lumet is still out there working, and you saw that newsreel of him tonight. He was bouncing around like he was 25 years old. So you don't want to write off the guy who did 12 Angry Men ever.
Do you imagine yourself doing something that's just totally opposite of you, something that you've never tried? Maybe, I don't know, like a Robin Williams in a birdcage, just something crazy. Is there something that you kind of yearn to do in that area?
Well, you mean Robin? What did he play in the Birdcage? I remember that was Gene Hackman was in drag too.
It was like La Cage aux Folles.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I know Chris Rock said that only gays were going to be watching the Academy Awards, but I don't agree with him there. I think there's room for everybody to watch the Academy Award, and I think it was great fun tonight, and I think Chris did a nice job tonight. I didn't get to see it from the television audience point of view, but. Yeah, I'll try anything. I don't care. One good thing about getting into your 7th decade of life is what the hell can they do to you? Nothing. And the further you get, and when I get to Lumet's age, if that all works out nicely, he must really be smug.
Okay, thank you very much and congratulations.